Hey Dynamo Nation, what's going on? My name is James. Thank you for being with me on this episode today. If you're new to the channel, new to Dynamo Nation, welcome. I appreciate you being here. If you're not subscribed, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Definitely helps out the channel. We're making that push to 500. We're almost there. Let's get past the finish line, Dynamo Nation. So today's video, this is our third subscriber feature video. This team was submitted by Adam Bakar. Adam, thank you for the support. Really do appreciate it. Let's throw Adam's league structure up here real quick. We can all take a look. You know, we can see this is a 14-team league. Starting requirements are pretty standard. It's only a 1 QB league. We can see that this is a 5-year dynasty. So that window, it's short. We have to be aggressive in a league like this. And PPR scoring. This team went 5-9 this past season. So definitely a rebuild. Definitely a lot of work to do in order to get this team right. So with that said, let's look at Adam's draft situation. We can see in 2022, we have picks 14, 16, 17, and 21 overall. But look at 2023. 4 firsts in 2023 and 2 seconds. Followed up in 2024. 2 additional firsts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, 2 fourths. I like that. I like that a lot. I know for me, 2023 is the draft to go and get your running backs. So for Adam, he has the opportunity after that 2023 draft to really compete. And you know, the league will still have a few seasons left on it in that 5-year cycle. So 100% he's sitting really nice for that 2023 draft to address his running back spot. Okay. So let's look at the current roster of the team. We can see right now off the bat, this is a 20-player roster. There's a 4-man taxi. And these are 2 IR spots on this team. Some names that stand out to me. Tony Pollard at running back. I'm not going to say anybody at quarterback right now. Maybe Trey Lance next year in a 1 QB league. But if you're in a 1 QB league, if you don't have a top 6 or 7 scoring quarterback, then it's going to be kind of tough. Like, you need one of those elite guys. Tony Pollard could be interesting next year. Devin Singletary could be interesting next year, especially if Buffalo has figured it out that they need to start running the ball more. You know, they've started to do that of late. That's really it at running back, Pollard and Singletary. And I'm not comfortable with either one of them as an RB1. You know, these are more RB2 flex guys. We look at receiver. DJ Moore definitely is a solid wide receiver 2 to me. You know, I like DJ Moore a lot. I think you guys know that by now. I think he's a really solid wide receiver too. We've got Calvin Ridley on this team that I like a lot. But is he going to be back? That's the question with Ridley that we don't know yet. If he's back, that's a great 1-2 punch between Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore. I like that punch a lot. So if he's back, we're looking all right at receiver. All right. Our third receiver, Rashad Bateman, also someone I like a lot. I think he has a really high upside. Bateman, and again, this is next season. If Ridley's back healthy, 1 through 3, if we're talking Ridley, DJ Moore, Bateman, that's a really nice 1 through 3 in a 14-team league. And to me, our fourth receiver is going to be Gabriel Davis. He's starting to come on in Buffalo. And obviously, he's tethered to an elite quarterback in Josh Allen. So if he's turning the corner, you've got a nice core right there, that 1 through 4. Outside of that, I'm not married to any of these players at receiver. If you can get value, I would get value. And then tight end. One of the greatest tight end rooms in fantasy. This is the 1-2 punch. If you can put Mark Andrews and Kyle Pitts together, you're doing something right. That's a great tight end situation. Especially with this league, it's flex. You can start 2 tight ends, right? But the way that Mark Andrews scored this season, you know, the tight end 1, I mean, he put up wide receiver 1 numbers. Like, he had a great year. And Kyle Pitts going to Pro Bowl, 1,000-yard receiving as a rookie. Like, he's going to be an elite tight end. If you compare both of them together and get high-end numbers, I mean, that's a nice spot to be in. And we're talking about pairing those 2 with maybe a healthy Ridley and a DJ Moore, a second-year Rashad Bateman. I like that room. In a 14-team league, I like that room. I really do. Obviously, we're going to try to upgrade if we can. You know, I would like Bateman to be my wide receiver 4 going into next season just because we don't know what's going to happen. With that offense, is he going to pop off next year, or is Marquise Brown the real deal? Is that offense going to be able to, and I personally don't believe that offense will sustain 3 receiving targets. I don't see that. I think there's going to be 2. Andrews isn't going anywhere. So it's really going to come down to Bateman and Marquise Brown. That's going to be the question. But if Bateman overtakes Brown, he's going to put up elite numbers. That, to me, though, screams wide receiver 4. So that's where we're going to be at with that. We need to upgrade that wide receiver 3 if we can. And we've got the draft picks to do it this year. So that's going to be our roster breakdown for the active roster right now. So let's move on to the next slide. Let's take a look. So we can see here with Adam's team, the Cornerstone Pieces, to me, there's only 2. There's Andrews and there's Pitts. Aside from that, everyone else is interchangeable to me. If we can get an upgrade at receiver, but we have to move DJ Moore to do it, we're doing that. If we have to move Calvin Ridley to do it, we're doing that. If we can upgrade at running back, but it costs us Tony Pollard or Devin Singletary, we're doing that. The 2 players on this team that we're going to build around that I think we will not move, just because of the positional advantage that we have every single week going against anybody in our leagues, is Andrews and Pitts. That's just me. Those are the Cornerstone Pieces. Those are our 2. We're not married to anyone else. I've said this before. If you feel like you're married to a player, get a damn crowbar, prop them up. We cannot do that. All right? Let's take a look at the next wave. Next wave of talent. I've already kind of mentioned them. Again, DJ Moore is on that list. Trey Lance is going to be on that list because our starting quarterback right now is Kirk Cousins. And Cousins always does well in fantasy, but he always flames out. So, Trey Lance. Tony Pollard, Devin Singletary, we've already mentioned, and then Bateman and Gabriel Davis. We've mentioned that as well. And, to me, Pollard can be a viable RB2. I'm not disputing that. And then the DJ Moore, Rashad Bateman, that could be a nice combo at receiver, especially if Ridley's back healthy. This is going to be our next wave. And if these guys all hit, this team looks good, really quick, right? So when we're looking at a team like that and thinking about the middle tier of those teams, we have to have that middle tier solidified. Our studs are going to win us games, right? Those studs 100% win us games. But if our middle tier is not healthy, it doesn't really matter who we have at the top. You can have 2 or 3, 4 maybe, really elite players. But if that middle tier is made up of a bunch of bums, you're going to put up great numbers from 3 players, but everybody else is not going to help you win. You have to have a really healthy middle tier in fantasy football, especially Dynasty football. And you have to constantly be replenishing that. And sometimes that means trading 2 players from that middle tier and bumping up to another elite player, right? But in a 14-team league, that's going to be hard to do. And that middle tier becomes more important the bigger these leagues get. Because that elite tier shrinks. There's only so many players to go around. Okay? So I think you've got 2 great players at the top. And really, in your middle tier, I feel comfortable with 3. The DJ Moores, the Tony Pollard, Rashad Bateman. I feel like those 3 are the core of that middle tier. The Trey Lance, Gabriel Davis, Devin Singletary, I like, but I'm not sold on. So we're going to have to definitely try to upgrade that if we can. The main thing for you is Calvin Ridley. Is he going to be back healthy? If he is, your team looks vastly different because you have an elite wide receiver 1, right? And that bumps DJ Moore down to the wide receiver 2, which is where he should be. And 100% bumps Bateman down to a wide receiver 3, which I still think is a little too high for next season. Personally, for me, I'd feel better with him as a wide receiver 4 on my team, but I can live with it at 3. I do not want to go into the season with him as my wide receiver 2. Okay? So let's take a look at the players that we're going to keep off of this roster. I think you guys can guess where I'm going with this, especially with this being a rebuild. We are keeping Andrews, Pitts, Moore, Lance, Ridley, Bateman, and Pollard. Those are the keepers on this team for me. You know, like everybody else is 100% gone. If I can get anything of substance, anything of value for any of these players outside those ones I just listed, I am flipping. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Their damn heads are going to be spinning how fast I trade them if I took this team over tomorrow. And the thing about it is, like, there's just not a lot, like, there's a lot of young players, and there's a lot of drops on this team. There's players who don't deserve to be on a roster. You know, there's quite a few of those. But for your team and the structure you have laid out, I like it, though. Like, that's, like, don't get me wrong. I like the structure of this team moving forward, especially if Ridley is back. Because to me, if you got Ridley, Moore, Bateman, and even Gabriel Davis, I can live as a wide receiver 4 or 5. With Andrews and Pitts, your team is set up for success after that 2023 draft, because that's going to be an RB-heavy draft, right? And so to me, I'm not touching or addressing running back in this draft at all. You want your pick next season to be as high as you possibly can get it, right? So we're going to fade that RB position. We're going to have to take another retool year next season in 2022. Go address that wide receiver. Lock that room down. Even if that means flipping some of those rookie draft picks for, you know, young vets at receiver that you like to upgrade that position. I'm advocating for that. Because you have so much draft capital coming up in 2023 that you're going to be able to do a couple of different things to address that running back spot. We could also be looking to upgrade at quarterback as well this offseason. You know, the receiver room and quarterback room is what I'm attacking this offseason. Lance might be a stud next year. I'm not saying he won't. And I'm not saying to trade him. But if you can go get yourself a veteran quarterback, especially this is only a 5-year dynasty, right? So we have to factor that in. Maybe we don't go real young here at quarterback and wait for that position to develop. Maybe we go find a guy, an elite player in his mid-30s, early 30s, you know, that we can plug right in and is going to give us elite wide receiver, or quarterback 1 numbers. You know, if we can plug that person right in and get elite quarterback 1 numbers, that's going to help us out, especially, like I've been saying, this is only a 5-year dynasty. We have to factor that in. We want to win now because this league does not last forever. So that would be the all-season strategy for me with this team. Addressing quarterback, addressing wide receiver, getting those 2 positions 100% locked down. Your tight ends are amazing. You don't have to worry about that, right? And then attacking the running back in the draft in 2023. So I guess I'm going to guess that you guys can assume who's going to be on the cut list off this team, right? And that's the whole damn team. The whole damn team is available for me off of this squad right now. Aside from the players we've already listed. Everything not nailed down, that's who's out. But when we flip it over and we look at their starting lineup, right? Your starting lineup, I think, is interesting. I really do. You know, I'm going to go with Trey Lance at quarterback. Then we're looking at Pollard and Devin Singletary at running back. And again, if Buffalo's turned the corner and are going to start using Singletary like they should have been, and Pollard continues to carve out that role in Dallas, they're not going to be RB1s, but they're going to be RB2s. And you have 2 of them. You can live with that in a 14-team league. It's not ideal, but you can live with it. Okay? And then at wide receiver, your 3 receivers. Especially if Ridley comes back healthy. Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore, and Rashad Bateman. In a 14-team league, I like that receiving core a lot. Obviously, Andrews is going to be our starting tight end. And then to flex it out, Kyle Pitts, Gabriel Davis. I like it. I really do. I think the team is solid right there. Even between running back to tight end, I like it a lot. Quarterback is up in the air. We don't know what Lance is going to do. I guess you could roll Cousins back out next season. To me, he's just not a player you're going to win with, man. Like, he disappears in these games. Playoff time, he disappears. So, I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable. Kirk Cousins, and the thing about Cousins is, like, he's nuts. He'll put up top 10 numbers all season. But he has these just games where he just disappears. But he can help get you there. So I guess if you have to roll with Cousins, you're still going to be able to put up some solid numbers, especially if he's back in Minnesota, linked to Justin Jefferson. He's going to be solid. But I don't know, man. Cousins makes me nervous. That's a player I'm always looking to upgrade, like immediately. And he doesn't have a lot of trade value either. That's the other thing about him. Like, he's the least valuable, most valuable player, if that makes sense. Like, he'll be a top 10 scoring quarterback, and you get offered like a third-round pick for him. Late second in one QB leagues. Like, he just doesn't have value. But again, he puts up numbers. But that's just a position to me that you have to upgrade and upgrade immediately. You need to attack that position with this being a 5-year league. You need to lock down that quarterback spot as quickly as you can without mortgaging 2023 draft. That is the draft that you're going to address your running back spot. So, what I see with this team, I see a team obviously that's in a rebuild, but I see a team with a lot of potential. I see a team that, if they can address their running back situation in 2023 the right way, shore up their wide receiver room this year, add another starter, and get a quarterback, a solid, dependable quarterback, and maybe that person's already on the roster in Lance. This is a team I think that can make a run starting in 2023. Onward. The beauty of it is 6 first-round picks between 2023 to 2024. So you're still going to add a bunch of elite young talent moving forward. You have to hope that it really comes back. And I will advocate, if you're even questioning that, and you have someone approaching you who wants Ridley, and they're willing to maybe strike up a deal to bring you back another high-end wide receiver, that might be the route we have to take. Personally, I think he's going to be back. I think he'll be back. He's an elite talent. I don't know if he'll be in Atlanta, though. That's the thing. I think he's going to be on the move. And that could be a good thing for him. Get out of that situation. Maybe get linked up in a better offense. A younger quarterback. That could be what he needs. Right? So, but I do think this team has potential, starting in 2023, to produce, and produce pretty quick. Especially if you attack that running back room. In your league, you can start 4 RBs. I want you to think about that. You can go 4 RBs deep. You've got 4 first-round picks. And if they all end up being near the top of the draft, top to middle, you're probably going to walk away with 2 or 3 pretty elite young running backs. And in that scenario, if you bump Tony Pollard down to an RB3 or an RB4 on your team, you're looking really good. And it really does come back. And he's your wide receiver 1. And DJ Moore continues to progress. And Bateman continues to progress. And Gabriel Davis continues to progress. And obviously Andrews and Pitts. It's looking like a nice team, especially in a 14-team league. It's looking real nice. So I think you're in the right track. Obviously rebuilding. You were smart about it. You jumped in front of it. But yeah, that's the course that I would take. Like, my plan this offseason would be to find a veteran, elite quarterback that I feel comfortable with. And that might require me trading some of those draft picks I have this season. But I have to live with that. That, and I'm looking to upgrade my wide receiver 3. I'm going to trust that Ridley's back. I feel great about DJ Moore at 2. I feel really good about Bateman at 4. I'm going to look to address that wide receiver 3, which is not hard to do. You can pull that off. Your tight ends are great. You've got at least 2 serviceable running backs. But to me, where you're fading that position, don't invest, because we're going to invest in 2023 heavy. We're going to go all the way running backs in 2023. So that's going to be the video. Adam, thank you for the support. Great start to your rebuild. Keep it up. Your team definitely is on the right track in terms of flipping this roster over. So that's going to be it, Dynamo Nation. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this type of content, remember to hit that subscribe button. Remember, we're trying to get to that 500 number. Open up the community tab. A lot more engagement is on the way. So, all right, Dynamo Nation, that's it. Everyone have a great week. Stay safe. I'll see you.